Welcome to Between Heaven and Earth Healing Arts Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle, and with me today I have Brittney Sounart, Master Herbalist, 25 years in practice, and she's going to be sharing with us today herbs that we can use on our libido. Mm-hmm. All right, so hook me up.
Okay.
How do we use herbs to increase our libido?
Yeah. So these are time-tested things. We've talked about this forever. Obviously, sex is a part of our human experience. Mm-hmm. And so herbs have been around forever. I mean, even in Chinese traditional medicine, they wrote about these herbs. Mm-hmm. So,
but we don't have to go that far. Grandma had her secrets too.
Yes, yes. So it's so fun. Yeah, and exciting. And with our busy lifestyles and things like that, I see more and more women and men having challenges with their libido.
Yeah, because we don't make it a priority.
Right.
Or like amongst our have to or to-do list, it's not scheduling. It's not sexy. It's not appealing. And so how can we prime the pump, if you will, in order to create an environment where we can, both as women and men, address these challenges of libido and get into that sexy vibe?
Yes. So there's a couple different things. So we want to look at obviously energy and vitality because mostly for women, right? We're not so much like, ooh, we see something and we're like, whoa, let's go most of the time.
We're built different.
We're built different. And so women, we need to, fill up our cup again. And so stress does play a huge role in this. So I see that happen a lot with stress. And so one of my favorite herbs for women is shatavari. Shatavari. I know it even sounds kind of
like ASMR.
Yeah,
shatavari.
So shatavari is an Ayurvedic herb. Lovely. And it has been known to help with libido, to help balance out hormones, moistening, because as we age or women go through menopause, vaginal dryness can cause a lot of issues. And so shatavari can be used as a powder. You can just mix it in water, put it in your smoothie.
Okay.
You can also take it as a tincture, but I actually like it as a powder the best because that's traditionally how it was taken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So when we're talking about libido, stress is a main factor in how we either have it or we don't. And what I'm hearing is shatavari helps to relieve stress and stimulate more of those feel-good hormones.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so on the other hand, for a man, in Ayurvedic medicine, they used ashwagandha. And so ashwagandha.
I've heard of that one before.
Yes. So it's known as an adaptogen.
Okay.
And for men and even women, it helps too. But for men, it really helps help their body make more testosterone. And so it's a tonic. It helps kind of balance the cortisol levels too. So it helps with their stress levels too. But these are more tonics. So these are been taken, you want to take them for a long period of time.
I see.
I also like to add maca in there too. In the same regards, you can use these all in powders too.
So they come in both powder and in tonics. And so when we're approaching, we're already, if we're looking for help with libido, we're already in a state of disrepair. Right. And so having the tools, the ashwagandha and the shatavari, how long would you say someone would have to take it in order to see any kind of visible or juicy results?
Yes.
Because that's, we need
juicy.
Juicy is my favorite word. And here I feel it's appropriate.
Yeah.
When I get excited. With any kind of content, it's like, oh, that's juicy. I like that. And this way, obviously stress is like a joy killer. It steals your time, your vitality, and your joy, and all those things that are juicy. So in order to get our juices back, how long would I need to take Shatavari for myself as a female and ashwagandha as a male?
Yeah, so I would at least try for about 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
To see, because we've been in a long-term stress, and
Yes.
so doing that for a little bit of time. But I did like your question, which I don't think I answered. You said, well, what about like at the moment, like right, like say like there is an appropriate time, like there's you have time and things like that. I like making herbal teas, and a traditional herbal tea for libido is Damiana.
Damiana.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And if you've ever been down to Mexico in their liquor stores, they have beautiful glass bottles, very feminine, of Damiana cordial.
Ooh.
So it's been known to increase libido and kind of be a sexual vitality tonic. So this has been passed down generational.
Wow.
So this could be used as a tea with honey. You could also add some rose petals. If you want
Make it sexy.
Absolutely. Serve it in a little wine glass, right? Make
Before
it beautiful. Dinner. You could add a little bit of an herb called yohimbe.
Yohimbe.
Yes.
Okay.
And so yohimbe actually is probably the one herb that does have a direct effect at that, like a little bit quicker.
Okay. So a little bit more on like shotgun, if you will, effect.
Yes. But I will warn you, it's not a Viagra,
okay.
But there are some contraindications with yohimbe, just so that you don't want to do it if a woman is pregnant. Okay. And then for a man, if they have cardiovascular issues, that's one of the contraindications too.
Okay. So we're you've given me a reason to go to Mexico, which
to see something.
Yeah, it doesn't really doesn't take much, but the way you describe the beautiful bottles of the Damiana cordial is like, so in that vein though, we've talked about taking it orally, right? Ingesting it. Yeah. Are there ways to incorporate herbs topically? Maybe to play in terms of like foreplay and getting in the mood and using safe, natural herbs with constituents that help stimulate our reproductive system.
Yes. So I love, they might not be herbs, but essential oils. So just be careful. Okay. So there's a couple things. I love herbal lubricants, right?
Okay.
So herbal oils. And there's a beautiful herbalist in Flagstaff, Phyllis Hogan. And she talked about, our yonis, and we need to lube those things up. Like we oil
I'm with her on this.
Right? We oil our whole body up, but we don't oil other parts of our body.
Yeah.
And so
our most sensitive and delicate parts. Yeah.
And a lot of those lubes out there have tons of chemicals in them. And this is a very sacred spot. And it's a I always say self-cleaning oven too. So you don't want all those chemicals and throwing off your microbiome in your yoni. So I like to use a base oil of either coconut oil or jojoba, which jojoba is the same pH balance. So it has a really nice pH balance as our body. And then you can add some gentle essential oils. So you don't want to add like cinnamon and clove, right? Okay. Spicy.
No peppermint.
Probably. Yep. No. So like just a little bit of gentle, like rose, sandalwood, right? These are essential oils that have been known for aphrodisiac purposes. And so these can be really nice using a very gentle amount of like the rose or the sandalwood can be lovely. Now, I do caution, if you are using condoms, your condoms will break. So you cannot use it with condoms.
Interesting. Okay. So part of the larger molecules of the oils kind of break down and compromise
the essential oils
and the essential oils.
Yes. So just be warned about that. I think
maybe just a little pregame.
Yes. So I almost got a friend pregnant with that, but so
you did not get her pregnant.
But the oil might have. So anyways, but I think oils are a beautiful way of foreplay.
Okay. Wonderful. And so you mentioned ways that we can ingest, some other foreplay type topical agents. Are there any other ways that we can incorporate herbs to help support pre-game, post-game, just overall, like, how can we use herbs to support our hormones?
Yeah. So, because hormone balance could be a big issue,
Mhm.
right? And so it can cause a whole bunch of, imbalances
Right.
and how we feel even sexually.
Right. Absolutely. Mhm.
So like those adaptogens that we talked about, but there's other hormonal balancing herbs too. So some herbs like epimedium, which they like the term horny goat weed is the other name.
I actually really like that name better.
Yes, yeah. So it tells
I'll
it how
remember
it
it.
is. Tribulus is another
Okay.
wonderful herb to help with sexual
Mhm.
vitality. Like I said, maca is a wonderful herb. And then for women, if there is some kind of hormonal imbalance, looking to balance the hormones with herbs, like vitex berry could be very helpful, or white peony. So those are great herbs to help balance the hormones.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So just to be clear for our audience, these are Brittney's tips and tricks for quick cupboard, easy access, libido enhancing edibles and topicals. And for more complex hormonal issues, you will want to consult your local herbalist or naturopath or your physician, just to make sure that none of these herbs that we're suggesting are interacting with anything else that you might be taking, right?
Yeah. So I do have one more
Yes,
little tip.
please.
This is juicy.
You know, I love a good juicy tip.
So an easy way to get a little blend, and the man and the woman can both take it, is to make some herbal candies.
Oh,
so all this is, yes. So take a nut butter or a seed butter.
A nut or butter.
Nut butter, seed butter. So, like you could use tahini, which is a nice seed butter, or you could use a macadamia nut butter. And so you do 1 part of honey. So like a fourth of a cup of honey, and then a half of a cup of a nut or seed butter. You're going to mix that into a paste, and then you add the powders in. So add some ashwagandha, shatavari, maca, mix those together until they're thick and create little herbal candies. Yes. And you can have 1 or 2 of those a day. You can share that with your lover. And it's a wonderful way to have herbs incorporated in your life, and a sweet, juicy treat.
It honestly sounds like a great date night. Like you're like having a project together, making something together, collaborating for the end goal of pleasure and satisfaction of all.
Yes.
That's juicy. I like that.
Yes.
Awesome. I knew I could count on you for this topic.
We love to keep it juicy.
Yes. And you know what? I think there's maybe a book of your tips and tricks in your future. And I would be #1 fan of that purchase.
That's a great idea.
Well, we're full of them here at Between Heaven and Earth Healing Arts podcast. I want to thank Brittney for being my guest today. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.